everyone. This is our community project proposal. Please take note that we had made individual proposals and we plan to pick the best proposal to explain its content and importance. So, let's start with the introductory statement. The pandemic distracts different aspects of our lives. It pertains different problems and struggle to improve in the certain areas of aspects that will develop the country to grow. In any case, we have to look at the education level for some instance. It is very important hierarchical aspects that we had because the quality education must be ensured. According to Philippine News Agency, the Department of Education or DepEd recorded 232,95 enrollees for school year 2021-2022, up by almost 4% from last year's 26.2 million. With that kind of numbers being released, it was such an improvement to lead opening of classes be a successful one. One thing to be considered is the modality to be applied this school year. It was a blended learning. Some of the schools applies modular learning modality. For more practices, learners will answer the modules as they given the time allotted for the deadline to answer the particular activities in that particular manner. But remember, what about the learners in the far-flung areas that they didn't access the internet connectivity, who they will assist them to answer the module? So, we have a project entitled Lakbay Aral para sa Kabatanunan Project to lead on visiting far-flung areas in the Ardalim district to teach and help them in their particular module and have monitoring and evaluation for the learning of learners to have improved quality education. This kind of project proposal enumerated the difference given. The first is discuss the importance of this proposal to the learners who will be the future generation of our nation. Next, plan the specified intervention being used to apply it to a different barangay. Next, calculate the budgetary requirements to be used for the application of this proposal. And the last is appreciate the learning environment of the learners with the help of different individuals.
Blended learning, also known as the hybrid learning, is a method of teaching that integrates technology and digital media with traditional instructor-based classroom activities, giving students more flexibility to customize their learning experiences. It values the technology to apply in this kind of setup of education, especially in these times of pandemic. It appreciates that even some learners are not quite ready to this kind of modality that had to exercise this application to be ready in any cases of another pandemic. The quality education must be integrated and prepared with the presence of technological approach and other forms of instruction. Many factors being considered why some learners stopped in their schooling process because of uncomfortable approach being implemented. Traditional face-to-face has been temporarily suspended. In this case, far-flung areas needs support and monitoring in their structure of learning and assessment of their approach being used if they learn on that particular concept raised. Problems are not quite complicated, but the learners need support in any times to value their learning, to have sense on what they comprehend the particular topic and to sustain the quality instruction even though the blended approach has been applied in these pandemic times. So, some suggested solutions are the following. Number 1, providing the barangays e-learning hubs to stay for learning of learners with the different volunteers to teach different concepts. Number 2, giving school supplies. Number 3, support of the barangay to maintain the sense of quality education. Lastly, the giving of gadgets to the learners for the advancement of learning and to be used for their future sense. In general, This kind of project proposal suggested solutions can be more attainable if the support of the local government units will be strengthened. It may cost several money, but for the learners that need to be projected for quality education, it must be a successful project to everyone.
These are project details has been enumerated by this proposal. First is the environment. The charted applications of this proposal is that the areas that can be far from the rural base to sustain the needs of the learners in their quality of learning. It is a hardware based to see the situation of the learners and to see face-to-face instruction to teach different concepts and topics with the volunteers given.
After the environment details, we have here the issues and challenges for implementation of this proposal. Number 1, the issues and challenges to face in this kind of project proposal for implementation are many to consider, like the budget claims, how effective the proposal for the learning of learners, and how to sustain the learning hubs if it will be a non-pandemic situation. There are many ways to teach learners in the far-flung areas. We all know that they were also struggling in terms of internet connectivity. So, we have to consider that the quality education is very important to manage the needs of the learners and to help them rise in their skills and abilities for future generated application of learning. Next, there are resources available in the LGU to use. Existing tools and systems will be used as one of the alternative for the purpose. We have to use it for the assistance to implement the proposal for the betterment of instruction. It will be a very hard to implement certain proposal but to ponder its sense of essential volunteering and community engagement. Next, it is special because we have to help the learners in the far-flung areas to provide their needs in terms of instruction, of learning, and to fight in the struggling of internet connectivity. It must be a special also because we are using manpower for volunteering procedures to teach learners on how we'll be maintaining quality education and its essence.
The next detail is the budgetary requirements. The budget of this kind project proposal is estimated to 5 million pesos. This included the building learning hubs, buying of school supplies, and the needs of the volunteers.
Next, we have to identify what are the deliverables in this proposal. Number 1, the conclusive evidence that we present with the proposal are the following. We have the means of verification of the MOVs, the monitoring and evaluation tool, the budgetary requirements for the project, the names of the volunteers and their documentary report, the narrative and the accomplishment report. These are the evidences to produce for the future achievement for this project. Lastly, we have the formation of the component in this project that will be more attainable and achievable in the sense that if the local government unit have the support and the strengthening of the volunteers to have their service to the learners who have needs to learn and ponder the quality instruction for the purpose.
Next is when all the project proposal will be implemented. The estimated timeline of this project proposal will be on August 2022 to December 2024. But it will depend on the LGU if they will continue the process of learning hubs.
And this is a conclusive statement. It must be a different form of instruction to consider. It is a very challenging scope of delivering and answering modules for the learning of learners, but we have to think for ourselves. Is they learn if there is no teacher in the field? Or they will learn if they have? So, we have to mind that learning is very important. Learning is everywhere, and learning will be the tool for the advancement of the world. Lastly, hoping this kind of project proposal will be approved for the updated quality instruction of learning and to exercise the volunteers to render their services in the field. Thank you, and this is our proposal entitled Lakbay Aral para sa Kabatanunan Project.